I want to kind of get for you when it comes down to now being in this content creator space and everything. Top five creators that you either watch, draw inspiration from, that that, or even before that you were looking to kind of like, help you, get your start or get, where you're going. Top five influencers, and it could be within any realm. It could be.
I'd say early on, I took a lot of inspiration from, I don't know if you remember, like the old days, there was those gaming YouTubers, like almost like Angry Video Game Nerd, where they'd turn it into like a skit and try to tell the story of what happened in the game. And a lot of my early inspiration came out of that. And you can see that in the gaming channel. Mm-hmm. And then I was also a big fan of a lot of like the creepy lore channels. I watch a lot of those still to this day. One that I watch right now is a channel called Brew, where they just take like weird, bizarre mysteries and they explain how it all actually worked with unique animation. It's awesome. I love it. And I wish I had the creativity to do something like that. It's the kind of channel I watch now. And I'm like, I could do an edutainment channel. No, you can't. You cannot do that. Stop.
That's how you end up with 5 new podcasts in 2020.
Well, that came out of that. That was like, I you know what? All my buddies, they're making all these channels, and all the new channels that I started are based off the podcast channels, like new rock stars. They're doing great. Why don't I do something like that? Hey, I've got a bunch of friends that I play video games with every night who I chat about this stuff. Why don't I take my knowledge and their BSing ability and put it together?
Yeah, no. Any other channels?
I can tell you right now, it'll probably be all of my recommended. Yeah, because I watch a lot of YouTube. I go through phases where I don't watch any of it, and I catch up like on everything on Hulu and stuff like that. But then I go back into a phase of watching it. There's that esports channel. I've been watching them lately where they tell the stories behind esports. The Score, I think, is what they're called. They're in there. I try to avoid watching Game Theory and Food Theory, but then I end up clicking one of their videos, and now there's 90 of them in here.
But see, that's one thing I do love about YouTube is that it's, when you make a lot of content in general, and that's one of the things I try to encourage, like people that are part of our collective, because right as of right now, I mean, we're not doing the biggest numbers. We're doing it with 1,000 views per episode on our interviews and everything. And I said, but we're making bingeable content. What I know, like when I'm looking at the comments, I got 2 buddies, so they kind of track the comments. But you'll see somebody comment on, let's say they'll comment on this one. Oh man, I love Comicstorian. And then, a few hours later, they're on like an older video. Oh man, I love this person. So I'm like, they're binging our content. They're going back and they're just watching and watching and watching. And I said, you fall into that rabbit hole. That's why I said, for us, like, level surface level, like trying to understand the algorithm. I'm like, well, first thing first, let's just get our playlist together. Okay, this is all the interviews. This is all the podcasts.
Yeah.
All of this, right? And then like second thing, like now let's work on our end cards just to make sure that when something ends, like the next video makes sense. And like it's something that's with it. Then
it's a constant struggle to do that stuff too. Cause like we'll go a couple months and I'm like, how did everything get out of order again? Like, all right. And like me and Dan, the producer, will just sit down and just start doing like links and playlists and clean them up. And it turns into a mess to do that kind of stuff. But you've got the secret to YouTube. That's a lot of people don't get that. It's the evergreen content. It's the content that someone can watch today or in 3 years. Comicstorian right now survives almost entirely on our backlog. Like our new videos do fine. We get plenty of views and revenue off of that stuff, but it's the backlog because I have, and I'll just pull it up right now. It's like 3,000 videos on the channel at this point. Yeah. It's just ridiculous.
But see, what's funny, and was probably a blessing for your channel, is anytime Marvel or DC does something new, you're like, yes, all right, we're going to get a bump on this.
Well, and that's the evergreen. Yeah, that's why it's so beautiful, because they put out Falcon Winter Soldier, and 4 years ago I covered Sam Wilson as Captain America, and now that's doing well again.
Right. Did you wrap up the final episode?
Yeah, no, we had to watch it last night just to make sure we had it in case anyone hit me up, because I always try to watch stuff like that fast because spoilers are everywhere.
Exactly. Same. So we just recorded our podcast yesterday that we're going to put out Tuesday, just to like our recap and everything of the Falcon and Winter Soldier. How did you like the series?
I liked it overall. I thought the series was really good. I felt the last episode was just kind of rushed. Like it goes from him opening the box on 5, and it's like, all right, cool, he's going to be in the suit finally, and then he shows up in 6 in it. And he's also jacked beyond belief. Like, what did you do in that montage, man?
Montage. It's the
You're like huge.
The power of the montage. It enhances everything. But yeah, that was my same thing. I said we could have gotten 2 more episodes.
Easy. I feel like they took a break. They're like, we'll find the villains later. And then between episodes, they found the villains.
Well, there was a couple of things that it was like, wait a minute, that was kind of fast. Like Zemo, like just like his, like we got a good chunk of his, but it's like I wanted to see more Zemo in the mask. Like I wanted a little bit more of that. Walker's snap, like though it made sense in the storyline, I just feel like he snapped fast, and then he also got his like anti-hero-ness fast as well. And I was like, I just feel like we could have.
And then immediately he's a good guy again, running with Winter Soldier. Like what John Walker and Bucky aren't even like, by the way, last week I was kicking your ass. Like no one even brings this up. They're just like, let's go find Carly,
Right. They're having a little moment. They're cracking jokes with each other. Like, like what is going on? So I
wanted more Sam as Cap. Like they're like, he's here. He did the job, made the speech, show over. I'm like, there's so much more you could have done. Like
now that with the rumors of Captain 4 possibly happening, and then with the way they ended the end card of Falcon and Winter Soldier, changing it to Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Yep. So I'm assuming that that's where we're going. Again, we in this we always speculate, but I'm assuming Cap 4 is going to be focused on him as Captain America. I'm
hoping, and because they set up John Walker as U.S. agent officially. Yep. They set up Madame Hydra. She's out there. They set up the power broker as Carter. Like I hope the people watching live aren't. I'm not just spoiling this whole episode for them.
So, question, because obviously with the speculation and everything. Now, at the beginning, I was like, okay, that's kind of obvious for her to be power broker. So I was hoping like it would be like a different spin. Did you already like?
I was hoping it wouldn't be her because it was just too obvious.
Yeah.
Oh, the government blacklisted her and she didn't get a pardon. Yeah. Now she's mad. Like,
yeah.
Like you just see, it was such lazy, oh yeah, they gave it to Bucky, but no one else.
Right. Okay, so I thought it was just me, but I was like, I was hoping I was like, this is gonna be Mephisto all over again.
Yeah.
With WandaVision, everybody was just waiting for that other shoe to drop. And then when you watch, you're like, all right, this really wasn't that serious. But we was just so anticipating, like he's gonna pop up. Oh, that's him. Well, we know that's him.
It's the dog.
But that's what I love about the culture, man. It's just like when you get so in depth in knowing these stories and knowing it, like it's the spoiler is not necessarily the person. The spoiler is, I can't wait to see how they pull it off and everything. So like that speculation of it all the time is always like it's the gift and the curse. It's like you spend so many episodes saying, oh, it got to be this person and explaining why, only for it not to be that person. But then when you go back on it, you're like, okay, well, yeah, this was supposed to be that, but it was like it gives that funness to it that where you don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah, I think the fandom is our own best friend and worst enemy, because we all get to have that fun of guessing who Mephisto is. But then you have the other side of the fandom when it ends and it wasn't Mephisto. They're like, "Oh, this was terrible!" Like, no, guys, we did that. They never said it was Mephisto. That was us.
That was us.
They didn't even mention, oh, what the devil? No, like nothing came up. Like
what's funny is too, like just like I think it's was it Comicstorian? One of those channels that I watch where like so he leans into the hexagon like with everybody, like, but he does it jokingly. So it's like no matter what, every time anywhere he does it, like he'll do like a breakdown of it. He'll be like, and then if you look in the background, what do you see? A hexagon. And it's like it became this thing because it was like, but it's like that's how you know that Marvel got us by the balls. Like Marvel right now, no matter what they do, we're watching it with like, oh, that's a Fantastic Four reference. Yeah. But that's this reference. Like we are so into just everything Marvel is doing right now to that point where we think everything has a secondary and a third meaning.
You're not wrong. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So the last top 5 that I want to do for you, what are the top 5 voices or just characters that you voiced that you was like, I like these ones?
Oh, that I get to do when I'm on the channel?
Yep.
Okay, Batman's always up there for me. I like doing Joker. Carnage, I always have fun with because Carnage, like I like doing Venom, but Carnage is more fun because I try to make it sound crazy.
Yeah.
Like, so I always have fun with him. I always have fun whenever I get to do anyone that's like Superman or Captain America. I just always need to sound heroic in everything that I do. You know, like I always have fun with that one. Is another like I have a blast doing. I do enjoy doing Rocket Raccoon, but I can never do it consistently. I try to give him like this Brooklyn accent, you know, but it's one of those things that like I can't just jump into. I have to like figure out some way to lead into it and then do it. I have the same problem doing a Harley because I try to give it the same Brooklyn accent.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah.
You know, but I can't just do it or I slip in and out of it. So I kind of ruin the accent, but I have fun when it works.
You know, one that I do like that you do that you didn't mention that I'm surprised. Your Rita Repulsa is good.
Oh, Rita.
Yeah.
I haven't done a Power Rangers in forever. We're gonna do more of it soon.
Oh man.
But
You know what? That legit was one of the playlists that I shared multiple times. So like the DC Metal and that, because I was like, yo, if you like Power Rangers, when I'm trying to introduce people to get back into Power Rangers, I said the comic run of Power Rangers is amazing. But I was like, but let me introduce you to this. And I've given them your your playlist of it, because I'm like, this is really going to set the mood of it. And I'm like, it made me like love that Mighty Morphin Power Ranger all over again. I'm like,
oh, same here.
Yeah.
Shadow Grid was incredible, man. Like they knew exactly what they were doing to get that nostalgia beat going, update it for the modern day, and make Tommy evil. Like,
right. And I'm talking about that, like not just like campy evil. They made him evil. Like,
he was evil.
Yeah, he was evil.
They brought him back. I got to catch up on it, but I guess Draken's back now.
Really? Okay, I gotta catch up on it too.
Yeah, it's like issue 51 or 52. They're like, yeah, Draken returns, and I'm like, how? What did you do?
Comics in general, like they.
Oh yeah.
You know how that goes. Comic lore is like anybody can come back, anybody can die, anybody can do this, whatever the case may be. So like that's where like I'm like, all right, well, I do want to see how they do it though, because yeah, I'm with you. Like I don't see how, but they'll come.
I hope it's not lame. I gotta read it. I did all the way up to 50 because that was the end of the Beyond the Grid, I think is what they called it. No, Beyond the Grid was like 30 to 50, 40, and then 40 to 50 was when you discovered that when the original 3 Power Rangers went off to do, they got fired or they left the show or whatever. Comic tells you they didn't leave. They became different Rangers, spacefaring Rangers, and it was like, oh, okay, cool,
right. That's just taking like, okay, well, this is real. So how do we at least put some type of lore to it and everything like that?
Yeah,
so it's pretty cool.